The judge overseeing a legal battle between actress Blake Lively and director JustinBaldoni has threatened to move up their trial date if the war of words they are conducting via the media doesn't.
Justin allegedly got his hands on explicit tapes that could seriously shake up Blake Lively's marriage to Ryan Reynolds. Sources claim these tapes contained shocking secrets about Blake and Justin's complicated relationship, secrets that could send Hollywood into a frenzy. But what's really going on behind the scenes? Is this just a publicity stunt, or is Justin about to drop a bombshell that changes everything? Here's where it gets crazy. Text messages and voice memos that weren't included in the lawsuit have now leaked. These weren't part of the legal files, but they've surfaced, and they're wild. They reveal major secrets about Blake and Justin's interactions, exposing a side of their relationship that contradicts everything Blake has claimed. And then there's the footage from the It Ends With Us movie set, footage that outright undermines her complaints. All of this evidence is reportedly being saved for the trial, and honestly, Blake could be heading down the same path as Amber Heard. But it gets even messier. Apparently, Blake tried to use Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds to pressure Justin and Sony Pictures, threatening to withhold her star power and massive fan base if she didn't get her way. Safe to say, it backfired spectacularly.
Will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center.
Here's the full story. In 2019, It Ends With Us author Colleen Hoover sold the movie rights to JustinBaldoni, and she was actually the one who suggested he play Ryle. On top of that, they were friends, and Colleen was heavily involved in the script, even promoting the film alongside Justin. Awkward, considering all the drama that followed, right? Now, here's where things get spicy. After Blake Lively filed her lawsuit, Colleen took to Instagram to show her support for Blake, but here's the catch. This happened after she had already done interviews backing Justin. The real mess started when Blake wasn't allowed to edit the movie exactly the way she wanted. That's when she reportedly said, "If I can't do it my way, I'm not promoting this film." But why all this drama? Why push Justin out? Here's the tea. Despite everything, Justin always praised Blake's talent, complimenting her in interviews and promoting the film professionally. Meanwhile, Blake completely shut him out of the project. She took full control, editing, marketing, and even turning Colleen against him. Yet, through all of this, Justin never publicly complained or said anything negative about her. Meanwhile, leaked text messages reveal Blake had repeatedly thanked Justin, acknowledging his talent and effort, at least at first. She even allowed him to make decisions early on. So much for all that animosity, right? And then there's the controversy over the intimacy scenes. Blake made a huge deal about Justin being inappropriate, yet she had significant control over those moments. Whenever she had the chance to praise his work, she dodged it, steering the conversation elsewhere. Honestly, Blake's playing the game, and she's playing it well. She knew exactly what she was doing. In Blake's lawsuit, she claimed Justin improvised and kissed her too much, but let's be real, there were only 2 kissing scenes before their break. Then, when Blake returned, she suddenly had new demands and even refused to meet with the intimacy coordinator beforehand. Sounds a little suspicious, doesn't it?
You were even the intimacy coordinator in some of your scenes, like we saw you.
That shouldn't be happening, by the way. I just want to be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have. Thank
You were
goodness.
teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where
I
have you
love
seen
that.
this?
I actually just saw it too. It was on Instagram yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, you know, romance is really important. You're supposed to, tell a story well and make people feel, but you're also supposed to do it in a way that, is like safe and respectful for all. So yeah, I guess that's the role of intimacy coordination. But yeah, when I think of my involvement in the film, I don't really see that as the thing that I did.
This could be part of the reason Colleen Hoover ended up siding with Blake Lively. After Blake took control of the editing process, Colleen was brought in to help finish the film. But here's the thing, if Colleen truly thought Justin's script was that good, why was Blake constantly making changes to it during filming? Something about this doesn't add up, and trust me, there's more. Blake and Ryan Reynolds have been trolling Justin for a while now, and there's plenty of evidence that contradicts Blake's harassment claims. In her lawsuit, Blake alleged that Justin was improvising too much and kissing her more than necessary. But let's break this down. There were only 2 kissing scenes before production took a break. When they returned, Blake suddenly had a long list of new demands. Even more suspicious? She refused to meet with the intimacy coordinator before filming, while Justin made sure to follow all the proper steps. That's a major red flag. Blake pulling strings to get Colleen involved in editing explains why Colleen seemingly turned against Justin. But that's not the only reason. There's more to the story. Here's where it gets even crazier. Colleen had previously raved about Justin's original script, calling it incredible. So, why was Blake suddenly rewriting scenes on set? It doesn't make sense, AS, for Blake's harassment claims. They fall apart when you look at the evidence. Justin's team has been keeping track of everything, and the receipts are piling up. And here's the scoop. After all the drama, Justin ended up casting Isabella Ferrer as young Lily in It Ends With Us. But guess what? The final decision wasn't even his. Taylor Swift reportedly convinced Blake that Isabella was perfect for the role.
We are just such similar people already that I actually didn't feel like I had to do that much to tap into those mannerisms.
I'm moving to Capri and Isabella's gonna take over my whole life now. Because I realized I could just peace and no one will notice.
Yeah,
It's
no.
amazing.
It'll just be me.
She's inherited 4 children, an amazing husband.
So excited.
Even though Justin was the one who recognized Isabella's talent, cast her, and pitched her to Blake and Taylor, his role in the decision was practically erased. Justin was constantly hyping Isabella up, praising her acting skills, and texts show that she appreciated him privately, but in public? Silence. Then, when the premiere happened, Isabella went all in on Team Blake, despite never actually working with her on set. She had only worked with Justin, but somehow, Blake still managed to pull her into her circle. Blake wasn't messing around, either. She was styling Isabella, taking her to premieres, and even bringing her along to visit Ryan Reynolds on the Deadpool and Wolverine set. It was obvious that Blake was working overtime to pull Isabella into her inner circle. By that point, Isabella was basically ghosting Justin, and it wasn't hard to figure out why. Blake and Colleen were completely running the show, and with the possibility of a sequel, Isabella's chances of landing another role looked pretty solid. Blake knows how to make strategic moves behind scenes and keep people on her side. But wait, it gets even messier. Blake and Ryan weren't just starring in the film. They were rewriting lines daily, something most actors wouldn't have the power to do. Blake played the underdog card with Justin, telling him that previous directors had always stifled her creativity. Feeling bad for her, Justin let her rewrite a major rooftop scene. To add pressure, Blake made sure to tell him that Ryan and Taylor absolutely loved her changes. At that point, with Blake and Colleen fully in control, Isabella's future in the franchise looked secure. Meanwhile, Justin? He had been bending over backward to keep Blake happy. Not realizing she had been playing him from the very start, Blake wasn't shy about flexing her Hollywood connections, calling herself Khaleesi with Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift as her dragons. Not exactly subtle. But she wasn't done there. Rewriting one scene wasn't enough. She wanted control over the entire script, making changes every single day. Justin, trying to keep the peace, went along with it. Eventually, she wasn't just rewriting lines. She was questioning every scene and every directing choice Justin made. Then came the fat-shaming drama. JustinBaldoni's text messages just exposed the truth behind it. And let's be real, it's not looking good for Blake and Ryan. Apparently, Ryan aggressively accused Justin of fat-shaming Blake after he privately asked her trainer how much she weighed. Now, keep in mind, Justin has chronic back issues and had to lift Blake for a scene. Asking for her weight? That's basic prep work. But Blake took this and ran with it, claiming it was proof that Justin was subtly making digs about her body. It gets messier. Blake also alleged that Justin put her in touch with a weight loss specialist, supposedly another way he was fat-shaming her. But the texts tell a completely different story. Justin actually connected her with a gut health expert because she had been on multiple rounds of antibiotics. And speaking of texts, they also showed Justin reassuring Blake about her body, not shaming her. When she wanted to push back certain scenes because she wasn't feeling in shape, Justin told her she looked amazing. Justin and the team were willing to work around Blake's insecurities, making adjustments as needed. Meanwhile, Blake was the one joking about still having 20 pounds to go after her fourth baby. But let's rewind to February 2023, when the drama really exploded. During filming, Justin reached out to Blake's trainer, Don Saladino, for advice on safely lifting her in a scene. Don sent him a workout program, and at some point, Justin privately asked about Blake's weight. Again, a reasonable question given his chronic back issues. What happened next? The very next day, Justin was summoned to Blake and Ryan's penthouse. As soon as he walked in, Ryan went off on him, swearing and demanding to know why he would dare ask about his wife's weight. Justin, feeling completely blindsided, apologized repeatedly, just trying to keep the peace. Ryan then insisted the lift scene be completely scrapped, and Blake flat out refused to do it. To make things even messier, Blake's trainer, Don, later edited an old post just last week to distance himself from Justin. He made it clear that Blake was his real client, not Justin, and doubled down on his loyalty to her. The bottom line? The texts don't back up Blake's claims. If anything, they showed Justin supporting her while she played up the drama behind the scenes. And now, with 168 pages of emails, texts, and WhatsApp messages laid out in Justin's lawsuit, this legal war is just getting started. As for the raw footage Blake demanded, other crew members weren't on board, because that's not standard practice. But Justin, still trying to accommodate her, gave her some of it anyway. When he finally put his foot down, things escalated even further. When Justin refused to send more raw footage, Blake wasted no time running to Ryan and her lawyers with a brand new list of demands. She practically held the entire production hostage, threatening Justin's career, disrupting the movie schedule, and even testing Sony's patience. Now, speaking of production, there's some serious behind-the-scenes footage that changes everything. This is where things take a turn because leaked clips directly contradict Blake's claims of harassment. She accused Justin of acting inappropriately, sniffing her and kissing her neck during a scene. But the raw footage? It tells a very different story. The clips show them staying in character and in the talking version of the scene, Justin is seen complimenting Blake and Ryan's real-life relationship, calling it cute, and even sharing sweet details about his own marriage. So, where's the inappropriate behavior? The entire exchange seems professional and friendly, nothing like what Blake described. Blake was deeply involved in every aspect of the production and is known for her marketing skills. Somehow, she even managed to convince Ryan that Justin was the villain in all of this. But the big question remains, why would Blake, Colleen Hoover, and the rest of the cast turn against Justin when he's the one who directed the movie that made them all successful? The simplest answer? Power moves and sequels. The follow-up to It Ends With Us, titled It Starts With Us, is already in the works. While Justin owns the rights, Blake has expressed interest in directing it. Justin even supported the idea, calling her a powerhouse. But it looks like Blake had her own plans. She pulled Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift, and others to her side, and naturally, the cast and writer, who are loyal to her, distanced themselves from Justin. Here's the catch. Justin still holds the rights to the sequel. The only way Blake could take over is if Justin willingly stepped aside or if a morality clause in his contract with Sony or Colleen Hoover was triggered. If Justin were found guilty of harassment or accused of causing reputational damage to the film, that clause could kick in, sending the rights back to Sony or Hoover. In that case, Blake could step in as director, and Colleen would still profit massively from the sequel's success. It's a smart move, especially given how successful the first film was. But the drama doesn't stop there. Reports say that back in September, before any legal drama even began, Ryan Reynolds tried to buy Justin out of the sequel rights. Allegedly, He offered millions, knowing the movie would be a guaranteed hit. But Justin turned him down, likely because of how Ryan and Blake treated him during negotiations. Sources claim that when Justin met them at their penthouse to discuss the sequel, things went south, completely backfiring on their plan to convince him. So, if you think about it, Blake filing a harassment lawsuit could be her last-ditch effort to push Justin out and secure the director's chair for herself. Justin remembers Blake once praising his talent and reassuring him during tough moments with Sony. To see her turn on him now, heartbreaking. What do y'all think? Drop your thoughts in the comments.